Okay, I think we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to day two of our Emotional Mastery mini series. And like I said, starting yesterday, we're going to be doing 28 days of what I call emotional mastery principles that you can apply immediately in your life and start noticing results when it comes to developing and cultivating emotional mastery. Sometimes just little phrases can help reset things to get them going. So let's keep it really brief. Let's get right on task today. Day two of emotional mastery principles is I am not upset for the reason that I think. In fact, I am never upset for the reason that I think. And the idea here is you understand that we get upset about things. And we usually think we're upset about this. We're upset about him or her or work or whatever it is. But that upsettedness actually comes from a much, much deeper level. So when I first came across this concept, it was actually by a book that was published by Paul and Lane Cuthright. And their relationship coaches that work as a team, a husband and wife team. And they wrote a book called You're Never Upset for the Reason You Think. That was my first experience of it. And then later on, a teacher of mine handed me A Course in Miracles. Okay, if you haven't checked out A Course in Miracles, go check it out. It's acim.org, like .org. Go check it out. They have all the free content there. It's really, really good read. I think this is lesson 5. If I remember correctly, and that lesson is you are never upset for the reason you think. And it takes tremendous responsibility, personal responsibility, like radical emotional responsibility to be able to state that I'm not upset for the reason I think, because it's so easy just to get mad at that person, thinking that that person is the thing that's causing you to be upset. But the bigger issue is your upsettedness, not what they've done. It's like, why do you get upset when things don't go as you project them to be, and this kind of thing. So it's a really interesting principle to start working about. So notice that next time you get upset, just try catching it in the moment if you can and saying, you know what, I'm not upset for the reason I think. And what's going to happen is your mind's going to start searching for a deeper meaning of why you actually might be upset and what the upsettedness is all about. To take this further, what's really cool is now in this part it's not upset, because upsettedness is one of those things that people it's just more drastic and more in your face and this kind of thing. So what we want to do is you can actually start exploring replacing the word upset with just about any feeling that you don't want. For instance, I am not worried for the reason that I think. I am not jealous for the reason that I think. I am not anxious for the reasons that I think, etc., etc. And you can start playing around with this. And then, ultimately, once we, get to understand how to work with this better, you start associating the cause with the feeling. And then the more you pour awareness on connecting the cause with the feeling, so I'm not upset with, okay, so my son, I have a 9-year-old son who's turning 10. And quite frankly, I get upset sometimes, just some of the things that happen. And, even though, developing emotional intelligence and emotional mastery is like really high on my totem, on my priority post, if you will, uh, I still get upset. What can I say? I am far from imperfect, that's for sure. Anyways, so let's say there's something that he's does, and all of a sudden I get upset. Well, how I would apply this is I'm not upset toward Kai for the reason that I think. So the feeling is upsettedness, and the object, the cause that I see is Kai, and I want to be able to connect those things, and so it opens a different part of my brain and develops new possibilities for what I want to accomplish. So you can try it on for yourself. I'm not upset at blank uh, for the reason I think. I'm not worried about blank for the reason that I think. All right, and then that opens up the opportunity to go deeper into it and actually find out what that feeling is really, really stemming from. And that takes some work, and that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing in the upcoming thing that I'm doing starting in February, called Clarity Accelerator. So if you go to clarityaccelerator.com, we're going to take 6 weeks and go through some real some of the most powerful things that I've learned from my teachers and mentors, and how I coach and work with people and all this kind of stuff. And we're gonna go through it. And so and we're gonna unpack things for 6 weeks and do a deep dive, looking at different areas of life and finding out how we actually feel about this and what we need to resolve in order to make things better for ourselves. Like, and when I mean better for ourselves, I mean, to feel better, to feel more fulfilled, to be a more fulfilled human. So clarityaccelerator.com, what that'll do is it'll take you to a page where it just starts you on a program where it asks you a bunch of questions. And then ultimately what we're looking for is to see if you have interest. Great. What ends up happening is you and I will get on a call and we'll just talk about it and see where you're at and see if there's anything, if this program you think might actually serve you. And I'll just, kind of coach you a little bit for a while on the phone, and we'll see if it's a good fit, and then we'll go from there. And that's it. That's all. Nothing. There's nothing to be. There's nothing to buy. Basically, it's just a conversation, and it costs nothing, right? Costs nothing. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be taking a very small group of people through 6 weeks every Monday, and we're going to do that. So going back to this whole idea about I'm not upset for the reason that I think, right? Because those upsettedness are things that hold that we carry forward, right? So remembering the metaphor from yesterday, like pretending we have this pack on our back, and every time we have an upsettedness or something that takes us out of our center, well, it's like taking that another lump of coal and putting it in the backpack and saying, you know what, maybe I'll just save this for later, right? And we just keep doing that, and put another one and put another one, and you don't think about it, over time, or you don't think about it at the time, but over time, that sucker will get heavy, right? That sucker will get heavy. So what we want to do is learn how to get clear, right? So clarity is the big first step. Well, that's not true. Biggest first step when it comes to wanting to be a more fulfilled human being has to do with making the decision, and then we need to get clear, right? There are things we need to get clear on about where we want to go, and there are things that we need to get clear of that are dragging from the past that we're kind of like holding on to, and you might not even know it, and that kind of stuff. So that is that big thing. That's what this particular 6-week thing is doing. It's all about developing clarity. Well, hence the name, clarityaccelerator.com. So that interests you, by all means, go to fill it out, click through it, see if the questions make sense to you, and look forward to getting on a call with you and see if we can serve you in some way here. And what's that? So yesterday we did the first EMP, and today's the second. So what we're going to do at the end of these things, I'm going to give you the new one right up front, and then at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat them, and I'm going to invite you to repeat them along with me, so you can actually get that repetition and get it ingrained into your memory about what these EMPs are, because they're great to know, but if you have to go look them up or something like that, that's one thing. But if they're on the tip of your tongue and you can bring them forward in your consciousness, well, you can use them, right? So somebody does something you don't like and you're like, whoa, EMP number 1, nobody's misbehaving, not even me. Okay, maybe there's an action that you took that you were questioning or something like that, but you weren't misbehaving. It's not you, it's a program, it's a pattern that runs, right? And that's okay. Everyone's just trying to get their needs met, all right? Understanding that nobody's misbehaving means that everybody's behaving in a way that's trying to get a need met. And there's different ways to get those needs met: positive, negative, neutral, all that kind of stuff. And then today's, I'm not upset for the reason that I think. So nobody is misbehaving, not even me, and I'm not upset for the reason that I think, or I'm not jealous for the reason I think, or anxious for the reason that I think, or tense for the reason I think. All of these things, okay? And what we want to start doing is developing new pathways in our brain that open up a new possibility for us. So there you go. That's all I have for you today. That's day 2 of our emotional mastery mini-series, if you will. And if you're liking what this is going, share this around. I'm happy to, answer some comments that if you want to throw a comment in there, or go to clarityaccelerator.com, go through it, submit your information, and let's get on a call and talk about things, and see if there's some way that we can help you move toward that end of being more and more fulfilled human. All right, with that, have a great Saturday, everyone. That's what today is a Saturday. And with that, see you tomorrow.